webpage for you to refer to later. And we will also be posting the slides on our webpage. So yeah, without further ado, let me share my screen and we can introduce ourselves. My name is Zain Sharifi. I'm the current undergrad advisor for our department. I'm also joined by Ethel Liu and our student worker, Aaron, who can also help moderate the chat. We do ask students to save their questions for the end. You can make comments in the chat, but they will not be addressed until the Q&A session we have after this presentation. But yeah, just to introduce myself, like I said, my name is Zain Sharifi. I'm the undergrad advisor until actually this Friday because as we'll get to a little bit later in the presentation, I'm actually heading off to graduate school this academic year, and we'll be having a new undergrad advisor, Brandon, who will help fill the position starting on Monday, the 18th. So yeah, just handing this off to Ethel to also introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ethel Liu. I'm the Student Affairs Manager, and what that means is that I oversee both our undergraduate program and our graduate program in political science. Uh, and I help out with more complex situations involving our undergrads. And so, in the interim, during the transition between Zane and Brandon, I will be available for the drop-in sessions next week. And then I'll be training Brandon as our new, in his new role as the undergrad advisor. Erin, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Sure. My name's Erin. Sometimes the mic on my computer gets a bit iffy, but I am a third-year student and I work as a student administrative assistant. If you're curious about my majors, I'm double majoring in real estate and development and international business, and I have a minor in Japanese studies. So unfortunately, I have not taken any classes in poli-sci yet. I am taking one this summer session, so I'm sorry, but I can't really provide any firsthand experiences in poli-sci classes just yet. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat.
Erin is also our first point of contact in the office. So should you stop by our office during, once school starts late September and onwards, you'll find Erin at our front desk and she can assist you with who you need to meet with or questions that you might have and direct you to the right people. Next slide, please. So just an overview, we'll go over some general information about the department, advising and registration, the opportunities that we have in the poli-sci department, as well as campus resources and opportunities for you that directly relate to your major. We'll also talk about careers that you can explore or think about in graduate studies related to the political science major, as well as how you can be involved as a student on campus. I know for transfer students, you're coming in already having met many of your GE requirements or perhaps all. And so sometimes it's a different transition for transfer students because many of you probably don't live on campus, and so how can you connect with community as a transfer student? And we'll talk about that as well. And then hopefully for the last 30 to 45 minutes of our time together, you will have the opportunity to ask any questions that you might have for us. Next slide, please. So a couple of years ago, we polled our incoming students with the following question. How do you plan to be successful as a political science student at UC San Diego? And these are some of the answers that they shared. And we think it's really apt because some of the things that they mentioned were they want to make sure they track their major requirements and pick courses that align with their future goals. They want, they say that, they know that attending their classes and asking for help will help them be successful. They also said planning to take a breadth of classes, diverse classes, to widen their exploration of the political science field. They want to participate and interact in clubs and internships and volunteer opportunities, participating in study abroad, going abroad, going to DC or Sacramento to get that hands-on experience and exposure. Because learning is not just in the classroom, right? You learn through experience. And also really important to reach out for support. So, your time as a student can be intense, especially given the 10-week quarter system that we have. And so don't, hesitate to reach out for support, your TAs, your professors, and, us here at Poli-Sci in academic advising are here to support you and direct you to the appropriate resources that can help you should you need it. Next slide, please. Professor Lawrence Braz is our department chair. And so just to give you kind of a sense of where the department is relative to everything else on campus. So you have the colleges, but there's also the academic departments belong in schools. So the Department of Political Science belongs to the School of Social Sciences. And Professor Bros heads our department. And so he oversees all the faculty, all the administration. And he's kind of like the last stop in terms of academic approvals as it relates to our department. So he wrote this message for you all, for all incoming students. This is available for you to read on our Canvas page. This year, we just launched the Canvas, our orientation materials on the Canvas page. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do. It's something that you can reference throughout your time here at UCSD, and you'll find out that many of your classes, if not all, use Canvas to interact with you and to post materials for your various courses. So we hope that it will be a helpful resource for you. Next slide, please. And yes, so this is the just a reminder to check your UCSD email for the Canvas link. You should all have received one. If you have trouble accessing it, please let us know and we'll make sure to resend you that invite. Next slide, please. So our department offers various majors, and they can also be referred to as subfields. And a good way to, when you're picking your classes, a good way to kind of remember what what a particular class might count towards is by their numbers. So, for example, if you are majoring in the political theory, those are courses that are numbered 110 to 119 and so on. So we organize our courses and course numbers in this way. Our faculty are also associated with particular subfields. So you might find that a particular professor teaches classes in a specific area, and those are course numbers associated in the associated course numbers. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, the subfields vary. Zane, Zane was an alum in our department, and so he has taken many of the classes across these different subfields and can talk to you a little bit more about them. Many of you come in as general poly majors, but the trend is that students start off with that and then specialize later on. So don't worry if you're not quite sure yet which specific subfield you're going to focus on. I think that is the point of, taking either the lower div classes or the fact that we have electives for our major, and it's for you to kind of explore these different areas. Do you want to say a little bit about some of these classes, Zane?
Yeah, so I'd be happy to break all of this down. So like Ethel said, there's about 9 different subfields within the department, or rather 8 subfields within the department, and everything from American politics to race, ethnicity, and politics. American politics is pretty self-explanatory. It's about United States politics and all of the implications of that. Now, a common question is, what's the difference really between comparative politics and international relations? Comparative politics is just that you're comparing different forms of government, democracies, autocracies, how different governments do elections, how revolutions occur in different countries, things like that. Whereas international relations is more about the relationship between these different governments, how they cooperate, how they conflict with one another, and really how they interact. In addition, we also have our data analytics subfield, which is actually, if you choose to specialize in this concentration, it's one of the few bachelors of science in political science that are offered in the country. So we're really proud of that. Data analytics is more about the science aspect of political science, looking at the quantitative things, looking at testing hypotheses, sort of the computation side of things, and presentation of data, and using that lens to look at political and social problems. Political theory, again, that's very self-explanatory. It focuses on thinkers and the political thoughts of that throughout history, how these theories are applied, and how they've affected our world as a whole. Another common question among students is the difference between public law and public policy. Public law is more of looking at things through the legal lens. It's a very popular subfield and concentration for law school aspiring students. You're looking at all the actual legal lens of things. We'll get a little bit further into the public law concentration a little bit further into this presentation. But if you're aspiring to go to law school, or maybe thinking about it at least, definitely I would recommend taking a couple classes in here and see how you feel. Whereas public policy, that was my concentration when I was a student. It's more of a legislative focus on things, of looking at how policy affects things, the process of drafting legislation, and all the different political issues that policy addresses. Um, our newest major, race, ethnicity, and politics, major concentration, I should say, is more about the study of racial and ethnic differences through the United States and, of course, the world, and focuses on the sociological and demographical impacts of having all those topics addressed and looking through the lens of how race and ethnicity can affect things. And
Thank you, Zane.
yeah.
So again, we offer these various majors. The requirements in general are 16 political science courses. The majors you can think of as an area of concentration, and 5 of your upper division classes must be fulfilled from a particular area, right? The rest of your upper div classes are electives, meaning it can come from any of the other areas outside that concentration. 2 things that I want you all to remember from this presentation, if there's anything you take away, it's that all of your classes for the major must be political science courses. And all of your courses for the major must be taken for a letter grade. This is really important because when your degrees get reviewed before you graduate, you don't want to at that time find out that you took a class, pass, no pass, and it won't count toward the major. So just keep these 2 things in mind. If you want to change your major, into any one of these areas, between these 9 majors, you can use the online tool called the Major Minor tool, but you must be first enrolled in your very first term this fall quarter before you can do that. Just related to these different areas, if you want to kind of get a glimpse of what the readings are for the various classes, kind of like the workload, the course load, we actually post all of the syllabi, and as many of it as we can get our hands on our website. So we have an archive of course syllabi on our website where you can take a look and see like what kinds of articles and books are required reading for classes in these different majors. Next slide, please. In addition to the majors that we offer in the Political Science Department, we also partner with GPS, the School of Global Policy and Strategy, in offering the BA MIA program. So what this is you start off as a UCSD Poli-Sci student, and then you apply in your junior year to their MIA program. And should you be accepted, you then in your 4th year, start taking graduate level courses in this in GPS. And then in your essentially 5th year, you take all graduate courses from GPS, finishing in 5 years with a BA MIA. For details on this, you can visit the BA MIA website, which is on the School of Global Policy and Strategies web pages. And you can also meet with their academic advisor um, if you're interested in possibly applying for this program. Next slide, please. The department also houses the Computational Social Science program. So CSS offers a minor for undergrad students and also a master's degree, a one-year master's degree in computational social science. So for you all, you may want to consider the CSS minor. And this is especially for those of you who want to incorporate computer science or data science into the fields of social science. For more information, you can talk to our Eileen Merabian. She is the advisor for the CSS minor specifically. Or if you talk to Zane or myself or Brandon, and then we can refer you to Eileen for her drop-in sessions, should you want to know more about obtaining this minor. Next slide, please. Okay, I think this is yours, Zane.
It is. I've seen a question in the chat, and a lot of you have asked questions about registration, which is very valid as registration is coming up. Some information about Fall 25 enrollments is that some of you have expressed concerns that the lower division classes or additional courses might not have adequate seats for incoming students. This was actually by design, as we've reserved those seats. So the numbers you saw with all the waitlists and all that was not accurate, as we've paused ongoing student enrollment to allow y'all to enroll in these fall classes and release new seats. So I do want to reassure everyone that we will be if we have not already added more seats to those classes. If you'd like guidance on enrollments from your college, that information can be found at vac.ucsd.edu. That's a website I frequently refer students to, not just for the information posted on there, but it's also a hub to connect with your advisors, both your college and major advisors. You can also use that website if you click on the Meet with an Advisor tab. A lot of times, majors and colleges will post their drop-in advising times, and you can wait in the queue to meet with an advisor. So yeah, there is also an academic planning guide on our website for students who want to build an academic plan. I recommend students firstly enroll in fall classes prior to doing so, but putting that academic plan together as early as possible can give you a real advantage in planning your classes and making sure everything goes as smoothly as it can. So the estimated date for the transcripts, which as transfer students, understandably, your transcripts are being evaluated, and most should be up to date, but there are still some that are still being processed by admissions. I would give that a little bit of time until August 11th. That's this coming Monday, to see if your academic history has been updated with the classes you might have taken from community college or another institution. If it has not, I would definitely contact the admissions office regarding that, as they administer the processing of transcripts. There is what we call the first and second enrollment dates, which a lot of students have also asked questions about. So we'll get to that in a little bit, but the SparkNotes version of that is for your first pass of enrollment. you'll be looking at two of your most important or prioritized classes, whereas your second pass is some additional courses. This is sort of an appointment system on a rolling basis. Start dates and times vary by student. Um, and yeah, so for transfer students, and priority enrollment students, August 13th, which is, I believe, Wednesday, is when you'll be starting to enroll in your fall classes. That's the first pass, at least. The second pass is August 18th for transfer students, and first years will be on the following day on August 19th. You should also know that classes start September 25th, and for additional details and all the academic dates to know, we have the enrollment calendar, which of course once this set of slides is posted, will be on our webpage. But it's a very good resource to frequently refer back to make sure you stay on top of all that information. I'd also alluded to this, but multi-tiered advising is sort of a different concept that UCSD sort of differs from the other UCs or most other academic institutions. At first, it might seem a little confusing, but it's actually designed to make your time a little bit more efficient when talking to advisors. The way I would describe it is I'm your undergrad major advisor. We advise all major related questions, things on which classes apply to major requirements, and things like that. Whereas if you have questions about specific university requirements, GE requirements, overall unit issues, or things like that, those will go to your college. It's really a central hub for any housekeeping related questions, and they're really there to help students adjust to the best they can, and also provide them with the most efficient way of supporting students. You can ask questions to either department through the VAC that I just mentioned. So the advising availability, at least for our department, will be Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Those are our active times where we will be answering questions. Usually it takes between 2 to 3 business days for us to address your questions. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to direct it to either us or your college. If you direct it to the wrong department, don't worry too much about that. You'll be directed to the right department to the best that we can. And yes, in-person drop-in advising times do resume in fall 2025. Our advising times are Mondays and Tuesdays in person in SSB 301, and Wednesdays virtually from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. These appointments these times should be really for about 15-minute questions. If you have a little bit more in-depth questions or you can't make any advising times, you can request an appointment if you send a message through the VAC. Just let us know the nature of your question. Maybe it's about classes you want to plan for, or maybe it's about study abroad, which we'll get to a little bit later in this presentation. We can definitely make an appointment for you and reach out with a time to work for both of us. Before I get to this, I do want to also clarify with the first and second pass enrollment. So students also have asked how many classes can I enroll in during my first pass. So that really is based on unit count. 11.5 units is the unofficial maximum. But really, if you're taking 4-unit classes, that really equates up to 4. Your second pass really is for the remainder of your schedule. Like I said, lesser priority classes. I would keep a list of those as we want to make sure everyone gets into their first choice of courses prior to the second pass, which is just something I wanted to also highlight. I also recommend students attend our webpage where they can find a lot of this information. If you go into poli-sci.ucsd.edu/undergraduate, you'll be taken to this webpage. If you click on this top tab, undergraduate program, you'll find a lot of information, including advising times, where you can find the advising link, and things of that nature. So feel free to explore our webpage for tools on advising. You can also find undergraduate major requirements and tools on how to make an academic plan. If you go into the undergrad page and click on major and minor requirements, you can actually find the requirements for your concentration. These are usually the most up-to-date and accurate requirements for the major concentration. To sum it up, most concentrations have about 5 classes, as Ethel alluded to, and 7 upper division elective classes, in addition to your lower division classes, of course. So yeah, to find those, you would just click on the actual concentration on the side tab over here, and you'll be taken here. In addition to that, you can also find information about scheduling. If you go to the bottom of one of these pages, you'll find this major checklist, which is a little bit more of a palatable way of knowing your major requirements and tracking that. I recommend using this sheet actually over here to help plan your quarter by quarter plan, just looking at the classes you have to take and plotting them out on this 4-year plan. Something for transfer students is a lot of these have been, or at least in theory, should be satisfied, especially these lower division requirements. So I would look at the academic advising page and see which classes you've actually taken at your community college and where they've equated to prior to plotting this out, just to have a better idea. And yeah, that's really a good place to transition to assist.org. As transfer students, if you attended a California community college or any sort of in-state institution, if you look up your original institution and look at the articulation agreements with UCSD, you'll find the classes that automatically transferred over. For example, with this college, San Diego Mesa College, you can find these classes actually translated to these UCSD classes. These are the Mesa College courses and the UCSD classes. Notice how the unit counts are different because we're on a quarter system rather than a semester system. So yeah, that's also something to look at. Not every class has an articulation agreement. For example, this class doesn't have an articulation agreement with Poly 13. And if you only took Poly 10 and 11, maybe you didn't take this class, but you took, or you're looking to satisfy this requirement. Unfortunately, this particular institution doesn't have a class to satisfy that, but you can take that here to satisfy this remaining requirement. Speaking of your academic record, this is where you'll find the classes that should have transferred over from your community college or other institution to how it should be listed on your UCSD academic record. It might not look exactly like this as incoming students. These should be your classes that you take here. Say, for example, you took 2 of these classes here for your first quarter, they should appear here. They would not appear here if you're a transfer student. However, they'll appear in a separate section that shows your transfer classes. We do encourage students to every quarter check up on this, make sure all your classes are reflecting accurately the grade, the unit count, etc., in order to avoid a headache in the future. So yeah, be sure to always check up on this, make sure it's accurate. If it's not accurate, please reach out to us and we can assist you the best we can. Um, in addition to all of that, I'm not expecting anyone to memorize any of this, but we also have the degree audit. So the degree audit system is sort of the university's own checklist to track your progress to obtaining your degree. Um, we can really advise you on the political science aspect of things, but there's also a portion of this that should be addressed by your college. The basic gist of this is it's color coded. So these green boxes over here state that the requirement has been completed. For example, students of the public law track are required to take these classes, which they have. They've earned A's in all of those classes and it should be checked off. This blue box over here means that pending completion of this class, Poly 30D, once you complete this class with a letter grade of C minus or better, that is, it should turn into a green checkbox once you've completed the class. And the red boxes over here means you still have work to do. So for example, this will tell you exactly how many classes you need and exactly which classes can satisfy this remaining requirement. Like I said, 5 area of concentration classes to fulfill the area of concentration and 7 electives, or if you're general political science classes, it's just 12. So it should say 1 class here. If you take, say, Poly 100A, which is listed down here, this should turn into a blue box. And once you complete that, it turns into a green box. So yeah, this is a little bit more of a technical way of looking at things. I understand not the most palatable thing in the planet. So when you're looking at this, I strongly recommend meeting with an advisor, making sure you understand this correctly. So that way, when it comes time for graduation and you're looking at your degree audit, you know exactly that you've taken the correct classes and the correct amount of classes. In addition to all of that, on our website, if you go into, like I said, polysci.ucsd.edu/undergraduate, if you click on the first tab that comes down here, political science courses, and click on this hyperlink, it'll take you to our tentative schedule. This schedule is for the upcoming academic year for 25-26, which should list the classes that we're planning to offer. However, I should note that this is subject to change. Every couple of weeks, we adjust this if we add or subtract classes. Now, the class times and dates still are a work in progress because, or I should say, those will be revealed once the official schedule of classes for fall or winter or spring goes live. Right now, since the fall schedule is live, we're not planning to make any changes to that, whereas winter and spring might have some changes. So I would frequently check back and refer to this when making your academic plan. And always make sure to check back frequently as we always add and subtract classes. So if you want to look at a specific quarter classes that have gone live, you can go into the schedule of classes. Usually I look this up just by going UCSD class schedule on Google. And this is really a good tool to help you find classes. You can not just filter by subject or department, course code, but you can also look at maybe if you like the professor, you can look for what other classes they're teaching that particular quarter. And also if you have, say, work constriction or restrictions and time constrictions that you can only meet on certain dates or times, you can also filter by those dates and times. Say you can't work on Mondays because you have work that day, all day that day. You can uncheck this box, make sure that you can find a class that fits with your personal schedule. So that brings us to waitlist and enrollment. So after the first pass, once you get into the second pass, that is when you can start waitlisting a class. Essentially, this is a queue to enroll in the class as soon as somebody drops. Now, these waitlists, I do have to caution you, are automated and every department uses this. Runs nightly at midnight until the Thursday of week 2. We cannot manipulate these wait lists. If you're number 50 on that wait list and you really need the class, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to have you skip that line. These wait lists are on a first come, first serve basis. And we strongly recommend students not bank on getting into a class. Even if the wait list has one person on it, you're not guaranteed to get in that class. So even if there is a short wait list, we recommend you have course alternatives. Obviously, the higher you are up on that wait list, the more likely you are to get into that class. Obviously, there are no guarantees. In addition to that, we do not allow late ads past Friday of week 2. If you're not in your ideal class, maybe that you waitlisted or that you're hoping to get into, if you're not in that class by the end of Friday of week 2, there's no exceptions that we can make to let you into that class. The reason for that is we're on a quarter system. These quarters are about 10 weeks in length. If you miss about 2 weeks, that's essentially a fifth of the class that you've missed. And your students are unlikely to succeed in situations like that. So we strongly recommend enrolling in your classes early, making sure there's seats available. In addition to that, adhering to these add and drop deadlines. Incoming students and students continuing should understand that before the quarter begins, you can enroll and waitlist in a total of 19 and a half units. That's just shy of 5 classes. So if you're taking 4 unit classes, that's about the maximum you can do unless you add maybe a 1 or 2 unit class. After the quarter starts, you can enroll and waitlist in a total of 22 units. I really don't recommend going beyond that, as it can get very intensive very quickly. I also do want to note that even if you're waitlisted in a class, the way that the system recognizes things, if you're waitlisted in a class, it counts that as part um, of your unit count. Even though you're not enrolled in the class, we don't want students to have a big long line of wait lists. We want to make sure everyone has a fair chance to get into the classes that they need. So yeah, it is something that you should strategize carefully with. I strongly recommend not banking on getting into a class because a wait list is short, and having a plan to add classes with seats available prior to Friday of week 2 at the very latest. Uh, in addition to that, as I've alluded to previously, the 2-pass system, and just to reiterate the dates, the first pass begins on August 13th for transfer students in priority and August 16th for first year. In the first pass, you can enroll in up to 11 and a half units. You do get a separate enrollment start time, which varies from student to student. You're unable to enroll in any classes. Or I'm sorry, unable to waitlist in any classes. You can enroll in classes. And your second pass begins on August 18th for transfer, August 19th for first years. This has a longer time period to add classes. You have until Friday of week 2 to add. This is sort of your open enrollment period. And again, 19 and a half units for enrollment or waitlist until the first day of classes, which again, 22 units without extra permission beginning the first day of fall classes. Now that we've gone through all of that, I'll hand this back to Ethel for department opportunities to go over those.
Thanks, Zane. So as far as I know, there was a lot of detail about enrollments and advising. So if you have any questions, we'll have time after this presentation to address some of those. So for this part, I just wanted to let you all know that one of the things that's really important for you to remember is to connect with faculty and with your grad TAs. Uh, our faculty, we poli sci, I believe, is ranked highly ranked. I think number 11 was the latest that and sometimes even certain areas like international relations are ranked higher as far as university programs are concerned. So we have uh, faculty who do cutting edge research on immigration, um, on the politics of information, um, on voting processes, political behaviors. So do connect with them. Uh, each of our faculty, each of our core faculty are listed on our website. So if in addition to looking at what's offered as classes, right, you want to know, can I see what this faculty is writing about or what they've published before? Then when you see their name on the schedule of classes, take a look at their profiles on our website and you can get to know them a little bit more. Some of them even have personal websites that are linked to their bios on our website. So you can see kind of like their academic trajectory as well. Next slide, please. And one of the ways you can tap into the opportunities we have in the department is through the research apprenticeship program or through independent research with faculty. So poli-sci gives students a way to connect with our graduate students through the research apprenticeship program. In the fall quarter, the undergrad advisor will get a list, will connect with our grad students and ask them if any of them need research assistance for their projects. And we'll gather, information about their projects and post that for our undergraduate students to apply to. And then towards the end of fall quarter, the grad students, after looking at all the undergrads who applied to their particular project, will let the undergrad advisor know, these are the students who I've selected to help me with my project. And those selected students can then enroll in Poly 198 RA for credit. And if they continue on to help that grad student in the spring quarter, they can also earn Poly 198 RA units in the spring as well. So this is a really good way for any of you who are considering maybe going to grad school or kind of exploring, research methods, data collection. This would be something to keep in mind. The other way that you can get involved in research in the department is by working with faculty directly. And that would be through the Poly 199 independent research route. So this one would entail you actually reaching out to a faculty member and proposing your own independent research project with them, which they would have to agree to mentor you on. So this one, I think, it's like a higher bar to kind of it's a higher hurdle in a way. You can start off by taking a class with that faculty member, and if you're genuinely interested in an area that they're an expert in, and if you have questions and a curiosity towards that topic, then you can approach them to see if they'd be willing to mentor you. And many of our faculty are really approachable, um, and would probably be willing to serve as your mentor. Of course, as long as they have time to do so. Next slide, please. Okay, so this one, we have a senior honors program. It's a little bit, I think, more intense for you all, the transfer students, because this is typically done if you're an incoming first year, this is in the fourth year that you're here. But as a transfer student, this would be more likely in your second year or a third year if you're doing a 3-year plan. So it's really important for you all to connect with faculty soon if you think you would want to pursue the senior honors, in the that distinction in with your degree. There's eligibility requirements like senior standing, a minimum GPA, and having completed a certain number of courses. At the end of your junior year, you want to take a look at maybe who you potentially want to work with as a mentor or advisor for this honors thesis. And you apply to it. It's usually the summer between your junior and senior year. And then in the fall, you enroll in, should you be selected for the honors program, in the fall and the winter, you take the seminar, the honor seminar, which is the 191A in the fall and 191B in the winter. And you work with your faculty advisor to develop a research project, implement it, gather the data, and write about it, such that at the beginning of spring, you submit your thesis. And then in that spring quarter, our faculty, there's a select number of faculty who then read your thesis, and depending on their review of your thesis, will assign honors, high honors, or highest honors, based on the scoring. This is a really competitive and I would say very selective program. So not every student who starts off receives honors, but it is something that goes on your diploma. So those who graduate with honors do get that distinction on your diploma. You can view all the honors theses that have earned honors designation on our website. And you can take a look at what our students have researched and written about, and who their advisors, who their faculty mentors were. Next slide, please. Another department opportunity, not in direct relation to like a particular mentor, would be to get experience with a local internship. And should you wish to kind of tie it together with a seminar course, you can do that as well. So if you want to do just an internship, that's fine. You can do Poly 194 SD. Some of our students, there's a lot of different ones. I think Justice Score is one of them. Some students intern at downtown, at some of the offices downtown, or for a local representative. Some of them intern at a law firm, and you can get credit for those. But if you also want to pair that up with a course, then you enroll in 197 SD. Again, similar to our honors program, there is an eligibility requirement, including for many of you here who you probably haven't taken a stats class yet, you'd have to make sure you take our Poly 30 or 30D stats class prior to applying for these internship credits. Next slide, please. Okay.
Right, I think I'm up here.
Yep.
So let's get into some campus opportunities that you can use for your major requirements. The first one that we'll address are sort of two programs in one, UCDC and UC Center Sacramento. These are both separate programs hosted by the Academic Internship Program. You can use these classes taken in these programs for major credit. I personally am an alum of UC Center Sacramento, so I can talk a little bit about that, but they're very similar to one another. When I was a student and was a part of the UC Center Sacramento cohort, I was matched with an internship based off of my interest. My interest in particular was education, more specific higher education policy, to which they recommended me an internship at the California Community College Chancellor's Office. Um, and yeah, I worked there for a quarter. And with UC Center Sacramento specifically, there is actually a research component to it as well, whereas UCDC is a little bit more internship focused. UC Center Sacramento, however, has a general research project that you'll be presenting and writing a research paper on. My project was particularly about the Student Equity and Achievement Program, which is a funding formula to help uh, community colleges with what we call the achievement gap among underprivileged students. And yeah, we looked at the efficacy of that amongst all of the California community colleges, and I presented that info to professionals in the area at the end of the quarter. They usually like to check in on and see what UC students are up to. And so, yeah, that's really a really enlightening and insightful program. You'll also be taking some classes in the field of public policy that can also be applied to your major requirements, both of which are about a quarter long, including in the summer. And yeah, UCDC is also very similar. Obviously, you'll be in DC, which is a little bit more federally focused, but don't let one make you feel limited. UC Center Sacramento, you can work for maybe a federal member of Congress or a state senator, or even a U.S. senator. And vice versa for UCDC. You can work in the White House or around that area in DC, but you can also work for maybe the local DC government or NGOs in that area. And yeah, it's a really good program for expanding your professional network. I still keep in contact with my cohort when I was in UC Center Sacramento, and it's a really good professionally networking experience. There's a lot of references and recommendations that have been proven to go a long way on job and grad school searches. And there's internships of all types, everything from, like I said, education, local government. Maybe you want to work for a nonprofit that advocates for legislation, things like that are all a great way to sort of polish your resume. In addition to that, there is the study abroad program, which is also campus wide. These classes can also be used for major credits. A quick note on that, especially relevant for transfer students. Any way you slice it, any classes that you want to transfer to the major, we can only do up to 6 from outside the university, and that includes classes that you have transferred over. So, for example, UC Center Sacramento has about 3 classes that you'll be taking, which go hand in hand with the maybe 2 or 3 classes you might have taken at a community college, go up to 6. So yeah, just a quick disclaimer about that. That being said, you can, of course, talk to your college about using the study abroad program to also satisfy GE requirements, as I've seen. And there's different program types when you're talking about study abroad. There's UCEAP, global seminars, and OAP. I recommend students begin with UCEAP as that's the one that we have the most framework on um, for looking at classes that have been previously taken by students and been applied to major requirements. We actually have a database of these internships, or sorry, not internships, classes that have been taken abroad and how they've applied to UCSD. So yeah, the process for this begins at the study abroad office. You'll be searching for a university that appeals to you and courses that are offered. We recommend meeting with your major and college advisor to see how that can be applied to your major or college requirements. And once you've returned from going abroad, you'll be essentially petitioning those classes to count towards your major requirement. Just be sure to save a syllabus of each class you've taken so we can properly assess if a class is or isn't a political science course. But if you've met with an advisor and confirmed classes should be able to satisfy major requirements, you should be good to go there. There's a lot of reasons to go abroad. It can definitely help you be competitive in a global workforce and also provide you a little bit more of a diverse background. Being in a place outside of home can really go a long way. Also, there's ways to use your financial aid abroad. And I would talk to the financial aid office about ways to do that and the study abroad office about how to best utilize that. And there are also scholarships for students interested there. For more information about that, I would talk to the study abroad office as we don't administer that part. Something that students do ask is, I'm worried to study abroad because I'm afraid it'll set me back academically or I won't get major credit. According to an internal campus study, social science majors who studied abroad are more likely to graduate on time within that 4-year rate than people who did not study abroad. Now, correlation is not causation. There's a lot of factors into that. I'm not saying if you don't study abroad, you won't graduate on time or that you're less likely to graduate on time. But the study found that social science majors who did not study abroad had a lesser rate of graduating on time than those who did. All that is to say is if you're worried about a class or going a semester or a quarter abroad affecting your graduation timeline, I do want to put that concern at rest as if you plan accordingly, you should not be set back by that. In addition to that, careers in grad school, that's a little bit somewhere where I can come from a personal place about me going to grad school because as an alum, you'll find that you might have a similar experience. So the first thing I want to emphasize is that your major does not put you into a certain career. Just full stop. Political science majors, a lot of times people are like, oh, I can only go to law school or maybe work in politics. That's simply not the case. I was a political science major. I don't work in politics. I did get a graduate school admission at San Diego State for urban planning because my concentration was in public policy. And I found that all to connect well with the community development part of my job. That's just one example out of 1,500 students or so. But yeah, your major does not necessarily put you in a certain place or trap you in a place. Really, what employers are looking at are the sort of side effects of being a social science major. You can learn a lot of leadership, some team building, written communication, verbal communication, things like that, and work ethic. There's a lot of transferable skills that you can learn from community college that do work in other fields. Maybe you want to also work in education. Maybe you want to work in a different area. There's a lot of places that political science actually does strengthen a lot of your marketable skills. Not necessarily exclusively to the field of politics. If you want to work in politics or go to law school, that's great, and you can learn a lot of skills here. Actually, that does bring me up to the Law and Politics Initiative for those who are interested in law school, which is a very popular path for our majors. Of course, not the only path, but we've had a lot of success with this Law and Politics Initiative. It's an initiative that has a lot of pre-law preparation for students. Just this last year, we've had quite a few events, some attorney networking nights, careers in government and law panels. We had a law school admissions series of workshops, things from personal statements, LSAT prep, which is very important for law school aspiring students, and other ways to prepare for law school. We also had an event last year where students actually did tour the University of San Diego campus, which is a lot of students' dream school. So it was cool to connect those students to a law school that they really connected with and sort of help bring that experience to them. And yeah, it's led by our very own Professor Mesa Nichter, who has a lot of legal connections, is a very active faculty member with students who are law school aspiring. And this program is really a good place to start for students who are interested in the field of law. Additionally, there's quite a lot of resources for students who are wanting to give themselves a little bit of an edge in professional development. There is that board of pre-law advisors, and we have workshops on our political science YouTube page about pre-recorded workshops that were but yeah, the board of pre-law advisors is mostly graduate students and instructors and such. Maybe they worked in the field of law or are in one way or another connected to law and can help students prepare for a field in law and help them tell them about their story and things of that nature to help give insight to aspiring students. Additionally, for students, we have our LinkedIn page, which we strongly recommend give us a follow there. We're always posting internship opportunities and other information or resources for political science students in terms of professional development. Now, the best place to look for career and graduate school advising is our very own UCSD Career Services Center. They can help not only look at your resume or match you up with a career, but also give you a little bit more guidance on different careers, different paths you can take as a political science major or otherwise, and even help you find jobs that you didn't even know existed. So it's a very good resource to also connect with. I would definitely highly encourage you to attend there. And of course, on our website, we have a career and graduate school page that has a lot of information on preparing for graduate schools or careers. For additional advising, I also recommend talking to a faculty member or maybe a TA, graduate student, who maybe work in a field that you really like. Doesn't have to be law, of course. It could be public policy, could be international relations, etc. Can really help you in that sort of department. And yeah, that's probably my number one advice is talking to faculty members. They're here to help and they like to help students. So definitely I would say don't be intimidated to talk to faculty members. All right, handing this back to Ethel for information on student involvement and support.
Sure. So I just wanted to do a time check. I want to make sure we leave time in the end
Sure.
for Q&A and to answer the chat. So I'll kind of breeze through the last remaining slides. Do get involved in student organizations. You can find that a list of them on the Center for Student Involvement webpage. If Erin can put that link on our chat. This includes poli-sci specific student organizations like the Model UN, Mock Trial, Pi Sigma Alpha. So do, make time to connect with peers. Next slide, please. For students with disabilities, it's very important that before the quarter starts, you connect with OSD office. The undergrad advisor is the main point of contact on the poli-sci end of things, and can help you should you have any questions about your accommodations. But the first stop for you should be the OSD office, where you can apply, submit the necessary paperwork, get assessed, and get your accommodations letter, which is then sent to departments and to your instructors with the specific accommodations that need to be met by the course. So make sure you do that. Next slide, please. So as a transfer student, the first quarter is all about just kind of getting to know campus and transitioning into into the undergrad program and as an undergraduate at UCSD. So these are some of the offices that can help you with that transition. Next slide, please. I especially want to emphasize the student support provided by CAPS. So CAPS is free for all students. It's confidential to get counseling support. Your instructors, your TAs, us as advisors, we don't get those records. We do, however, we'll refer you to CAPS if we think that that is a resource that can be helpful to you. So please do take it seriously. Like if an advisor says, you really should check out and make an appointment with a CAPS counselor, or just even as a student, you can check out their website. They have lots of great resources for stress management, time management, managing your anxieties, just lots of things that you can do before it gets to the part where you're super stressed out and hard for you to get through your courses. So please make sure you take care of yourself and you can find more resources about that or information about that on the CAPS website. And if Erin, you can also share that link here on the chat, that would be great. Next slide, please. As transfer students, you have access to the Triton Transfer Hub. These are some of the things that the hub offers. So make sure you connect with them when you're on campus, especially, as many of you might not be living on campus like our first year students. So know where you can hang out when you're on campus and you have to be here the whole day because you're not commuting back home until the end of the day. So you can ask the Transfer Triton Hub about that. Where can I microwave my lunch? Where can I store my things while I'm on campus? So I think it's a good place to start as well to find that community for transfer students. Next slide, please. And I think this is one of the last slides. Finally, Please visit their website to find information about getting connected. Next slide, please. And we hope you have a great rest of your summer. We're here for you via the VAC and also drop-in advising. Right now, drop-in advising is virtual until we start classes in late September, at which time we'll also have both in-person and virtual advising. So at this time, I want to open it up to the questions that we have on the chat, as well as on the any of you want to unmute yourself and ask a question or raise your hand, and then we'll call on you. So you can ask your question.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and stop the recording right now. Oops.